Questa Corporation operates as an integrated natural gas company in the United States. It distributes natural gas as a public utility in southwestern Wyoming and owns and operates distribution system comprising 27,612 miles of street miles, service lines and interconnecting pipeline, as well as has long-term franchise granted by communities and counties in its service area. An energy company with asset value at about $4 billion. The main developer of the gas well around the city and out on the mesa overlooking the city. Mesa is a desperately needed resource that provides the nation with a clean and cheap sources of energy. By the beginning of 2004, Questa had drilled 76 wells on the 14,800 acres it leased from the federal government and Wyoming state government, and had planned to eventually drill at least 400 more wells. The Pandal Mesa, sometimes called the Pandal Anticline, is a 40-mile long mesa extending north and south along the eastern side of Wyoming Green River, an area that is famous as the gateway to the hunting, fishing, and hiking treasure of the Brigade Wilderness. The city of Pandal sits below the mesa, a short distance from its northern end, surrounded by hundreds of recently drilled wells cautiously pumping natural gas. Restriction imposed by BLM at the Pandal Mesa. Roads, well and other structure had to be located a quarter mile or more from grouse breeding grounds and at least 2 miles from nesting area during breeding season. No drilling activity during winter. The umbrella bird. Biologists call the saga grouse an umbrella species. By conserving the very and big country saga grouse needs, many kinds of bird and animal also stand to benefit, from pigeon, rabbit, and saga parrots to mule deer, elk, and pronghorn. They take shelter under the umbrella. More than 350 species of saga-spruce associated plant and animals are now identified as species of conservation concern. The ethical issue. Gas drilling had compromised the wild grouse. Drilling damaged saga grouse. Endeavors to mitigate drilling effects on saga grouse have been lacking out until now. Saga grouse need joining landscape level insurance from the effect of oil and gas penetrating. Would it be a good idea for us to maintain our business? Point of interest and benefit without thinking about the other living things? Focal points drilling at the Panda Mesa. Supply the perfect vitality and environmental agreeable. Economic is grow for the nearby district. Provide job for society. Increase government revenue from the tax and royalty. The weakness drilling in Pandal Mesa. Drilling activities will feed on wildlife habitats. Winter drilling operation disturb migration pathway and lead to declining wildlife rates and winter survival. Wyoming Green River Valley is crucially in the Greater Yellowstone ecosystem. Each year, more than 100,000 animals pass through this valley on a long migration from the Grand Teton. The Colorado River, a vital trout habitat, and is one of the last strongholds for the rare saga grass. Experts have estimated that there are roughly 20 trillion cubic feet of gas that would supply the entire of nation needs for about a year. Here is the Upper Green River Valley, where a gas field known as the Pandale Interline located. The basin already has about 5,200 gas wells, but the government is considering drilling permit for up to 10,000. The energy company have already crisscrossed the landscape with new routes to reach drilling sites. The enormous trucks stir out the dust, thus scare the wildlife, they are the noise, and the Powder River Basin residents are frustrated at water pollution left by the extraction method used there.
Assalamualaikum everyone. My name is Bonnie Isaac. My metric number is S46205. Firstly, the systemic issues we can see in this case is the government has to look up in the situation in the macro view, seeing the fact that Questa drilling has benefited the local economies as well as increasing welfare. In addition, with the rising need of clean energy, the natural gas drilling has also become very important. The company provides a large opportunity of employment. It is also reducing USA's energy reliance to foreign countries and also provide jobs for the society to increase government revenue from tax and royalty. as well as economic growth for local regions. For environmental issues, drilling at the Pinedale Mesa will supply clean energy and more environmentally friendly compared to oil, coal, and etc. However, the government has to see the issue not just from the economic reason but also from the ecological point of view. They must also concerned about the declining number of wildlife species such as sage-grouse, mule deer, pronghorn antelope, as well as endangered wildlife population in the surrounding area due to gas and production activity. The issue rising within Questa is how the company should be able to meet the demand of the natural gas without having to be sued by some environmental matters. Questa have a few issues such as operational issues where the drilling pads are taking a big space to support drilling rig and other equipment, and also issues where the access roads, piping network, and tanker truck traffics which will be impacting the wildlife habitat. There is also financial issues within the company, which is the drilling activity that need to be suspension during winter months that will lead to increasing costs. There will be more layoff which will damage the employee trust and thus creating more problems. Moreover, as the drilling operations are forced to stop, the inefficiency due to seasonal interruption also will rise. The cost as the field was projected to take 18 years will be longer than what the company wanted. The involvement of new technology, which is application of directional drilling, will also bring the rising cost as it will require an added about 500,000 to the cost of each oil well and also require drilling inventing in the several new drilling rigs. Lastly, the individual ethical issue that we can see in this case would be Gene Smith, a former communication director for President George W. Bush Energy Task Force. He held a negotiation with Questa and other companies by forming a coalition tried to lobby the Bush administration and keep the grouse of the endangered species list, encouraged grassroots opposition to provide political cover. He also suggested funding scientific studies that were designed to show the sage grouse was not endangered. Next person is Drew Bauer, Vice President of the Petroleum Association of Wyoming, where he wanted to keep the species at Pinedale Mesa out of the endangered species list. He said that endangered species listings are not good for the oil and gas industry, so anything we can do to prevent a species from being listed is good for the industry. That's all from me. Thank you.
They show proper wildlife management and conservation, values of nature and nature prevention in their management strategy. This to ensure protection of resource value and resource use. Well process should be allowed to develop on their own with as little interference from human as possible. Ecological ethics must be in taken account in any business activity of the company. Legalization of environmental law and company policy. The principles are used utilitarians. Pen is an evil whether it is inflict on human or animal. This involves consideration in management decisions.
I will answer for the question, should Questa continue its drilling operations? Questa company should continue their innovation for drilling so that the environment and animal around Questa can survive and have a chance to breathe. It is because natural gas is environmentally friendly. So, drilling operation is not disturbing and harm the environment and life. However, the natural gas drilling by Questa Corporation is a desperately needed resources that provides the nation with clean and cheap sources of energy as natural gas burn more cleanly than coal, oil, diesel and gasoline. Furthermore, the government will take necessary action if Questa during their operations which is not allowed by the government until causes some critical issue such as extinction of wildlife species, disaster and so on. Costa Company also helped reduce U.S. reliance on foreign supplies, and the drilling bring job opportunities, increase the government revenue from tax and environment friendly compared to oil, coal, and so on.
I will continue for the next answer. Yes, it morally give impact to environment if Questa stop drilling well operation. It is because it can save the habitat of course. This is caused by the drilling operation was affecting the grouse breeding ground and nesting area during breeding season. Area of drilling operation was increasingly taking up land on which the grouse habitat. It also affected the deer and antelope. It due the migration to the Pinedal Mesa area was far away at 170 miles to north. It is the animal were prevented from reaching their winter range or if the range become inhospitable. The large herd would with her as the animals died of the noise from the drilling operation also can severely impact animals during winter when they are really physically stressed and vulnerable due to low calories intake.
Yes, Quista and other companies should be doing differently. Firstly, they should do the innovation technology of drilling process, which is it can reduce the population of the waste, smoke, its surface and sound for faster the process and provide green environment for all the entire life. For example, Quista proposed to invest in a new kind of drilling rigs that allow up to 60 wells to be dug from a single pad instead of traditional one or two. This minimizes the surface land occupied by the wells and reduce the number required by the roadways and distribution pipes since a single access road and pipes now service the same number of wells that traditionally required 16 different roads and 60 different pipes. Secondly, they should optimum conservation on the wildlife in Pinedale Mesa and physical environment. For example, if company was allowed up to be drilling through continuously through the winter, it would be finished drilling process all its wells through the 9 years instead of 18, thereby almost doubling company's revenues from project over those 9 years. In short, the company would invest in a new technology that reduces the impact on wildlife, but only if they was allowed to drill on the mesa during the winter months.
For questions 5, yes, in my opinion, alternative 4 was the best options among those from which the BLM chose. As we know, nowadays, the issues of environment pollution has been rising rapidly. Many countries are really focused on environmental issues. Okay, in this case, alternative 4 is best drilling environment option to have a less pollutions to wildlife management. By doing that, the wildlife will get minimum impact from the process of mining, but it still take into account the excess of natural gas for the sake of nations. Moreover, it will balance the benefit from pollution management and environmental conservation. Next, alternative 4 is the best option because Q star is confined drilling to parts of the core area, prohibit to drilling or disturbance of winter range of mule deer or pronghorn antelope and nesting of sage grouse. Prohibit drilling on the flank area surrounding the core area where drilling was allowed. This method required companies to establish funds for monitor wildlife and pay for the cost of mitigating any impact on wildlife. To conclude, overall, I agree with the alternative 4 because it went above and beyond just limiting drill pads to certain number or certain area. It promised the yearly examinations of the drilling effect on the wildlife and it drew a line to establish how much of an effect was too harsh on animal. Okay, that's all from me. Thank you.
Next, I will answer the question number 6. The answer is yes. The loss of species produced by drilling operation of crystal can be a considered problem of pollution and problem of conservation. Today, pollution is held at everywhere in the world. The causes of this pollution are from activities human. From the action of human can be the failure of many processes. There are three pollution, which is pollution of water, air, and land. First, the coastal drilling operation can be a water pollution by drilling the sediment. There will be a pollution on river, which is the water molecule near the pedella mesa. And second, land pollution is the result of accompanying and destroying wildlife habitat, operating vehicles, and truck traffic. In addition, it also dominated by the congestion used for gas extraction process around this area. Third is pollution of air. When drilling and other activity are conducted, then the air pollution comes from the activity occurred and the result of drilling of gas will transform the natural gas molecule in surrounding area into a negative molecule and eventually the air becomes polluted and unsuitable for human life, land and animals. And next, the conservation problem are include conservation effort need to avoid any adverse effect. Most of the factors that contribute to this conservation due to human activities and natural events. For species produced by the drilling operation of crystal, it also can be a conservation problem, which is involving the Bureau of Land Management, BLM. The problem will be related to the BLM effectivities and the weaknesses of monitoring these issues. It will appear that this organization seems to have a weaknesses in managing gas drilling between the various of companies. Although the organization has handled this drilling very well.
Yes, the loss of species by evaluated as an external cost. External cost is a cost that refers to the economic concept or social impact and environment that is not compensated. Example of external costs are such as when a factory is under construction in an area close to residential area. During the construction, many small and noise emission occurs. After the construction, the same things happen in the surrounding area, causing the resident to suffer from the shortage of breath and cost as a result of the smoke emitted from the factory. In the case of loss of this species, it is caused external cause, as it causes wildlife habitat to become extinct and over time the wildlife become extinct. Therefore, the company drilling the gas should be responsible before many issues happen. Because of the loss of species due to the activity processes of gas carried out by the company. Then it will involve two costs, which is internal plus external cost can be the social cost. To emphasize the impact that the BLM with morality has on the environment, it has complied with the restriction imposed on the drilling process in the Pandal Mesa area. These restrictions are intended to protect and conserve the fauna natural habitat from the extinction and habitat deficiencies and to facilitate the habitat to reproduce and maintain care to each other. In order to comply with the Order of Economic, Resource and Energy requirement in the US, the QSTA should operate the drilling process at a low rate and at a certain scale or be halted gradually. It is designed so that ecological and environmental values are protected and balanced at a rate like to the economic demand. If the QSTA is still aware of the environment and adheres to the guideline provided by the BLM decision on September 12, 2008, that it is use the new drilling technology and respect the alternative number 4, which allow winter drilling and 4,399 wells on 600 space. Confine drilling to the part of the core area. Prohibit drilling on disturbance of winter range of mule deer or pronghorn, antelope or mating and nesting area of GROUSE. Plus, prohibit drilling on the thousands of acres surrounding the core area where drilling was allowed. Require annual review of wildlife impact and require the company to establish a fund to monitor wildlife and to pay for the cost of mitigating any impact on wildlife that monitoring the detects.